Welcome back to another review. Today we're going to talk about this slider, the Duzi 4 from Cinevate. This is my new favorite slider. Just a few things about the Cinevate. It's a little wider than most sliders, which I actually like because I use bigger cameras. And the best part about it is the built-in flywheel. So it gives you the nice smooth motion without having to have the problem with belts and things like that. Another awesome thing, you can unscrew it and take it off. And a lot of people are like, well, why would you want to take off your flywheel? Well, genius. Just kidding. You take out the flywheel so you can get faster moves. With the flywheel on, you can't get those like, holy cow, that was fast. Oh, it was like Kanye West fast. I don't know what that means. The maintenance on this has been really easy. I took it onto a beach in New Zealand and got sand all up in this thing. I just took my canned air, took the pieces apart on the bottom and just went to town on it. And yeah, cleaned it pretty easily. Now I do kind of wish that they allowed you to take it apart to replace the rods. You know, I'm kind of locked into this size. So it's very light. It's fairly compact. I got the smaller version, so this is like the 24-inch version versus the 32. I did that because I typically take this with me traveling. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this slider is the brake. It has this brake system that you pull this lever and it holds it. The problem is it has these little brake pads that wear out, so it doesn't really hold. Right now, the brake pads have completely worn out, and they don't really hold anything anymore. But luckily, Cinevate was really awesome. I told them about it, and they said, yeah, you should have gotten some little replacement brake pads with it. I didn't in my package, so they just sent me a bunch. And so yeah, it's a really easy system to replace the brake. I have another video that shows that, and I'll link it somewhere. And what I wish they had done is had some sort of locking mechanism that could go around here, or even if you had something that came to the edge here that you could then flip over and lock in, clip it in somehow, would be great, because especially when you're traveling, this brake, I think that's part of what happened was I was traveling with this a lot, and it's just, you're holding it up like this and the brake just slowly will wear down. The other thing I love about this thing is how much weight it holds. 100 pounds is what they rated at. And I say that this is probably the sturdiest slider I've ever gotten with the middle mount. So it has the nice middle mount right here, and it is really sturdy on a single tripod. Now, I have noticed when I don't have a great tripod, or if I put a ton of weight on this, that you do start seeing that little bit of bend in the middle of it. The other really nice thing is they have a built-in bubble on it, which is amazing. Love the built-in bubble. Now, I have tried to put a quick release plate on the bottom. The only issue with that is what makes the Duzi 4 amazing is this surface area that you have when you screw your ball mount onto the bottom here. It just gives you this beautiful surface area to hold and give it a little more stability. Every quick release plate I've had has taken away that durability, and you see a little bit more bend in the slider when you have it center mounted. The other thing that sold me on this system are these side mounts. They're made for like baby pins. So if you have 2 stands or 2 C-stands, I'll show you that in just a minute. And not only that, they also have mounting screws on the side. So you can, attach accessories. You can attach your monitor mount. You can also attach, some base plates on the bottom or the top to attach. So why did I switch, right? So I did have this. I had Edelkrone slider, which this is a fantastic slider, but this slider is really meant for DSLR. Now, as you can see, I do have the all-terrain legs on it. And if you are going to get this slider, I highly, highly, highly recommend the all-terrain legs. I would buy it in a bundle. I would get the legs. Now the case that Cinevate sells is really big, and I don't love big cases. I wish, and this is what, one of the things I wish they do, is with the Edelkrone, I love this. They have this little pathetic case that slides right over it, zips right up. Now it's not gonna be like the best hard case and protect your slider from everything, but it's compact and it has just enough padding that you are actually, you know, protecting your slider a little bit. I typically put it in with my tripod, so I just need something that's not too bulky and big that I can slide in with my tripod case, because I have, you know, my tripod case is a little actually bigger than the tripod, which is nice, that I can slide this in, or a monopod or something else. So I'm trying to find something that would be good. If anybody has suggestions of what case to use for this, I would love that, because I haven't found a good one yet. Because I travel so much, I need to have a very small kit, and obviously this isn't the smallest thing ever, but it holds so much weight that it makes it worth it, and it's the smallest one I've been able to find that holds this much weight. Other nitpicky things I have is it doesn't have motion control. I think they just released a new motion control system, but like, let's see. Let me see if I can demonstrate. It has this thing that sticks up like this in the back. My camera sticks off the back a lot, so not compatible, which I was really bummed about. I was like, oh, you're selling a $1,000 motion control kit for basically a DSLR. So I just wanted to kind of demonstrate some of the stuff with it. So I'm gonna throw on my tripod head. So there's the head. Now I did throw kind of one of my heavier lenses on. It is incredibly smooth, and it holds this weight just fine, like this whole setup. I could probably even throw a matte box on. Now the problem that I run into is when you put this much weight on, especially once you put the matte box on, follow focus, maybe a monitor up top, your EVF, you do start getting really top heavy, and it does have a shake to it, unless you do the 2 mounts on the sides. If you do the 2 mounts on the sides, it's way more stable. But with this much weight, I find that it works just fine. Now the nice thing about the flywheel is you can see it's just does it itself. Don't even have to do anything. Magic camera slider. I would highly, highly, highly recommend this slider if you have a bigger system, and it works with DSLRs too, obviously. But if you're one of those like me who has a bit bigger and heavier camera, or you want to rent bigger, heavier cameras or whatever, this is a way better system than most that I've had. Like, you can get a Dana dolly and it will work way better than this. You can hold way more weight, you can travel way further, but for a compact, easy, nice slides, you know, it's not a ton of travel, but it works great. It's enough to get some really nice dynamic shots. Definitely the best slider you can get, in my opinion, for the price on the market right now. So now what I want to do is just kind of show you this rig mounted in a couple different ways, just to kind of show you. I don't like it when people are like, oh yeah, you can mount it this way, but they never actually show you. So I'm going to show you. Get excited! I don't know what that was. So this is my smaller tripod. This is one tried out because I was like, maybe I can get a little more compact tripod. This is not the best tripod for this. The base isn't quite wide enough, but this is my travel tripod, and in a pinch, this is what I use. Okay, so let's do it. So typically the way I do this is I take the ball mount off, and I would love it if a slider company figured out a way to do a quick release. Like, if this whole base could be like so sturdy and you had some sort of quick release system to get it off the ball mount, it would be awesome. Anyway, so you screw your ball mount to the bottom. Now, if you notice, this is part of the problem. You most likely want a 100mm ball, not a 75, because it has a little bit more surface area and it makes it more sturdy. As you can tell here, not a ton of surface area, so it's not quite as sturdy. Now I'm on the tripod. Like I said, this isn't the best tripod. The tripod can hold the weight just fine. It's not that, it's just that the base isn't quite big enough. And then also, when the tripod, if your legs aren't spread out enough, you don't have enough of that angle, so when you get out to the end, it will tip. It'll actually tip the whole thing. Okay, so, as you can see, on a tripod, it works awesome. Nice and smooth. Oh man, I just won 6 Oscars because of that shot right there. Not super exciting, but I thought it'd be important to show you. The other thing I wanted to talk about are also these legs. You can easily and quickly hold them up like so. So they're out of your way. They did a really good job of designing these legs to be able to do that and quickly hide them compared to like having them jut out and stuff. A lot of other legs I've used on sliders have like those interlocking grip system that kind of like click, 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 and then you tighten. I don't like those quite as much as these. I feel like these are actually a little quicker because they just fall into the place you want them to. So you just kind of roughly guess for one side, and then once you get that side where you want, height-wise, then this side I can just loosen a little bit and it just falls right into where it needs to go if I'm holding up this side a little bit. So, hope that makes sense. And then when you want to take it off, I typically do this. I'll take my camera off, and then what I do is I just do that and unscrew it this way. This is kind of how I do it, but still isn't as quick as a quick release would be. There we go. But now I'm going to show you on these C-stands. Typically I put one side in, and I'll lock it in, and then I lift up. See, it's got a little bit of trick. You can see when you go all the way out, that bubble does not change. Like, this sucker's solid. The other thing you can do, and I have done this, is an overhead. So there you go, it's locked in. So then you can do an overhead, strap the camera on, and you got an overhead. So then what I do is actually mount it upside down, like so. There we go, like so. Now obviously you want some sandbags, and also I would highly recommend safety cable strapped here to the slider or over to here, just something to get it a little more secure. So if for some reason something gets loose and flies off, you don't want that. So then what you can do is you can actually have a tabletop overhead with a slide. Isn't that dope? It's pretty cool, huh? So yeah, I thought this was an awesome little trick. And then what you can do is you can slide your table right up against your stands here, and then you'll be right over the table. Now if you want to get the floor, you have to extend it out. I would highly recommend probably speed rail would probably be your best bet to do that, and then you can just easily clip a Mathelini on either side, and then again it's got the baby pin, and hold it on that way. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys checking out my videos. Link to all of the equipment that I use down in the description below. If you're interested in looking into it, check that out. Hope this was helpful. Hope it wasn't too boring. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Check out my other videos. I'll have a video about how to replace the brake on these, the brake pads on these. And anyway, thanks guys.